Welcome to the Art of Classiness Podcast, a show where we redefine what it means to be a classy lady. And sometimes it's messy. I'm Robin.
And I'm Deborah, two friends turned classy ladies who are here to discuss life's ups and downs, navigating the complexities of adulthood, and how the gift of friendship is essential to belonging.
Today we're diving into something dangerously fun, a high-stakes round of Would You Rather.
We'll cover body betrayals that would ruin dating forever, social nightmares that hit every friendship fear, and big life trade-offs that force us to choose between vanity, health, success, and the people we love.
So follow along, give us your feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, what's up, classy ladies and gentlemen? Deborah, how are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good going in to 2026. I feel like today I pre-gamed for the new year. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're recording this slightly before the New Year's, you guys. And I did what my kids call the great monthly restock, which is when I go to Sam's Club and just buy everything we need.
Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely a labor of love because not only do you got to plan, food wisely, but you got to almost freezer prep, right? So it's not just a trip to the grocery store. You know what I mean? You got to think, what is future you going to need? And so it's freezing all the meats. I bought all the meats. We're covered in the meat department. It's what are the kids going to want to snack on and off for the month? What are the afternoon snacks going to look like? So I spent a solid 2.5 hours this afternoon just prepping away. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get ahead of lunches this week. I'm going to bulk make some chicken. So that way I can real quick put that over some mixed veggies,
Yeah.
Just have that ready to go for work this week. Just pop it in.
That's smart.
And so I'm just ready to go. And this is the false sense of hope that I think we all have as we go into the new year. This version of ourselves that we all think that we're going to be, and we just hang on for dear life to that person, this ideal person that we think we're going to be. But I'm ready for it. I'm embracing it. I think she's going to be great.
Awesome. Love that for you.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Yesterday was our dear friend Jackie's birthday.
Happy belated birthday, Jackie.
Happy belated birthday, Jackie. And so we celebrated her yesterday. I went to dinner and then a bunch of friends met up with us at this new bar in town called Coyote, which I had so much fun.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to lead with that.
Okay.
I had so much fun. When we got there and I was looking around, I was like, if you told me we were in Austin right now, I'd believe you.
Oh, nice.
It had an Austin bar nightclub vibe. And even people in there, the way they were dressed, just felt very Austin to me. They even had a mechanical bull.
Oh.
Which I rode.
Okay. How many seconds did we last?
Almost 25.
Whoa. Okay. That's a huge feat.
My inner thighs are bruised.
Oh my God. I believe it.
And so they had a wooden dance floor. And they were teaching line dancing, which I did not partake. I had fun watching.
Mm.
And then it just turned into your typical night at the club in your 20s as a millennial. The millennial 20s. They were playing all of the hits.
Yes.
Apple Bottom Jeans came on, dude.
The fact that is the song, I was just about to ask you, did they play Apple Bottom Jeans?
They sure did.
That is amazing. Amazing.
And then when we decided it was time to go home at 11.
Yeah, a reasonable hour.
We were about to leave. Well, we had been there since 7. Okay. When we started our night at 4:30. So I'm proud of us.
Early bird special.
The song that they played as we were about to leave, and then we had to stay, was Get Low by Lil Jon. From the window to the wall.
Yes. To the wall. To the sweat run down their bow. Oh, they bitches roll. Yes. I mean, that's the millennial call. That's like the call of the wild.
We had our jackets on and like we're right by the door and we just start getting down and I get
Yep.
graphic with my
Yeah.
emotion.
You throw that jacket off.
I'm like, oh, ski. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Seth wasn't there. He didn't see me.
Disgusting.
So it was just a very nostalgic night. We had so much fun because it was the music of our time.
Yes.
When we were clubbing. And so it just felt like we were 21 again.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we left and I hadn't yelled like that in so long because it got so loud and there were so many people. It was packed and like you're trying to have conversations. So you had to yell. And then I got home and I was like, Seth, can we just whisper? I can't talk. I didn't know if I'd have a voice when I woke up, but.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was so much fun. And it's nice to know we have that here now.
Amazing.
It's a relatively new place.
Shout out to Coyote in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
They really don't club like they used to. They don't club like they used to anymore. I've been hearing this more and more. Gen Z is like, what was it like? Tell me the stories of what it was like. And we're like, you don't even understand. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad you guys had a great time. It sounds like a great birthday for Jackie.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
Oh my God, amazing.
Speaking of flashback to our 20s, I don't know if you've ever played this game with your friends when you were drinking. Would you rather?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Yeah. And so Deborah thought we would play that game, but higher stakes at the ripe age of 40-ish.
40-ish.
So we have a few different categories. Some lean towards the silly, fun, hypothetical stuff. But then we get into like way more serious high stakes where it's like very difficult to make a decision. But you have to make one. And that's our rule today. You have to make one.
You have to make one. Yes. It is one or the other. I feel like when people play Would You Rather, they forget that if you don't choose one, you have to choose the other. And there are no loopholes, okay? We're not playing the loophole game. So don't be that person. Audience. I know that Robin's not, okay? But audience member, listener, no loopholes, okay?
So we're going to have some debates and we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, I don't know.
We certainly had some fun picking these out.
Yes. And when we picked them out, we deliberately were like, don't answer yet.
Yes.
Don't answer yet. So I don't know how Robin is going to answer and she doesn't know how I'm going to answer.
Right.
So it could go either way.
Let's start light with our little body and sensory betrayals. These are the maybe gross / uncontrollable horrors that would ruin your daily life.
Awesome.
So, first one. Would you rather your hair always smells like fried onions or your breath always smells like wet dog?
These are hard because, Robin, you and I both worked in the service industry and
smelling like the kitchen was never.
It just follows you everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's on your clothes forever. Yeah. You would come home and it just comes with you. Like your car smells like deep fried something always, So yeah. We kind of already lived that life, and it wasn't great. So I feel like I have experience with it, but bad breath is just such an insecurity.
Not just bad breath, like wet dog is a very specific smell.
It really is. And it's like a musty.
It's a very negative connotation. Yeah.
It's like sticks in the air. It's a thick.
Making me gag right now.
I know. So I'm going to choose, I would rather have my hair smell like fried onions because some people like fried onions and they want to eat it.
Yeah, it's not like raw onions, which I think would be worse.
Yeah, because that's BO.
Yeah, I like the fried onions one because also it's just your hair.
Yeah.
So maybe you can find some other smells that complement
right.
fried onion. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a better workaround than wet dog breath.
Yeah, you could put it up in a bun, wear a hat, but breathing on people, making out, that'd be hard. So fried onions for me.
Fried onions.
Okay, this one cracks me up. Would you rather sneeze glitter or cry ranch dressing?
In theory, crying ranch dressing, it sounds kind of great. Like you cry, you wipe it off, and you eat it.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, like, what if you're bawling and then you're just getting ranch everywhere?
And like, is it painful? You know what I mean? Like, is it thin ranch dressing? Like some ranch is like real thin. Others, like a Hidden Valley, that's a chunky ranch, you know?
Which one would you prefer?
I mean, if it's a thin ranch, I could handle it, right? Plus, here's the thing. While I cry a lot, and I like crying, to be honest, sometimes it's just a catharsis.
Yeah.
So crying ranch dressing would be very inconvenient for my life, but sneezing glitter, you could never convince somebody that you weren't spreading germs because everybody would see exactly how far your germs would be reaching.
Yeah.
You know?
But it would also make them think about their own germs.
Right?
And maybe it would inspire people to be better about covering their mouths.
It sure would have changed things in 2020, I tell you that much.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose crying ranch because even right now, like I feel like I can see a tiny, and I don't know where it came from, but there's like a tiny piece of glitter like somewhere in my eye makeup and I can't stop seeing it. It's just one piece of glitter and it's driving me crazy.
It really does find its way everywhere, no matter what you do.
It finds its way everywhere. So I'm going to cry ranch dressing. It's my favorite condiment. Win-win.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Sneezing glitter does sound fine, though. But I bet it would get old after, like, a day.
Yeah.
Seth always sneezes 3 times in a row.
Some people, once they start, they can't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to go ranch dressing.
Okay. 2 for 2 we're aligned on. How about that?
And I'll just have some chicken nuggies ready to...
Get those nugs ready. So maybe you could have a convo of your hair smells like fried onions and you cry ranch tears. You're just a dive bar at that point.
You're a walking food truck.
You really are. Okay, would you rather your eyebrows permanently look skeptical, like one raised and one lowered, or your eyes always look like you just got high?
I'm like trying to imitate both looks.
I know.
And I would rather look high because I already always look high.
Roll the dice. Roll the dice. You got to think of like the long-term implication of some of these things, right? Like if you're like me, you know, it was already hard enough for me to get a job anyway. So looking like I just got high would be very detrimental professionally, right? Like I finally get a face-to-face interview and they think I just got high. Not a good look. Or I like go to present in a meeting, trying to win people over. Always looking high would not be good for me.
Sure, but looking high and acting high are 2 different things.
Yeah, but once people think you're high, like Jim Brewer, if you guys don't know who he is, he was a comedian in the 90s. Dude always looks stoned. I don't know if he did do a lot of drugs or not, but for him, it like didn't even matter because that's just how his eyes looked. Always looked high. And this was like well before weed was like legal in any state.
Yeah, he was in Half-Baked.
He was in Half-Baked, exactly.
And I thought it was an act. That was just his face.
Just his face.
Wow.
That's how his face looks, right? And permanently looking skeptical might be difficult in a relationship where there's trust issues. Like that might be hard to get over.
Well, in any conversation, people would be like, why are you looking at me like that?
But I feel like I could use that as a superpower because I'm already probably too agreeable and codependent person. So I think I could use that to my advantage.
Well, what if you did say like you agreed with someone and they didn't believe you because of the face you were making?
I know, but I feel like I could have the power in that negotiation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to say as much. I could just be like, sure. And then they'd be like, or we could go 20%, you know? And I'd be like, okay.
Oh,
Right?
that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
So I'm going to choose a skeptical look.
I'm going to choose stoner look.
There we go. Love it.
Okay, moving on. We're going to level up here
Take it up a notch.
to social cringe and exposure nightmares. So we're going to talk about friendships, communication, and public humiliation. And so these are slightly higher stakes.
These have some more social implications.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're not just sneezing glitter and crying ranch, okay?
Yeah. First one. Would you rather all of your friends hear your inner monologue when you're annoyed with them, or never be able to lie, even white lies, to anyone ever again? I would rather never be able to tell a lie. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because just because you can't tell a lie doesn't mean you can't be a wordsmith. You can tell the truth without lying in a way that you're still able to get by without being brutally honest sometimes, you know?
That is true. I feel like you're skirting the loophole rule, but I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. But you are correct in that you can be succinct. And this is really where lawyers shine, right?
Yeah.
Like this is where defense lawyers, a really good one, will still tell the truth on behalf of their client.
Yeah.
Right? By omission or selection, if you will. I agree with you that I would love to never be able to tell a lie ever again, because inner thoughts exist for a reason.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want people hearing my thoughts when I'm processing my feelings.
Allow me to process. Like my reptilian brain needs to just work shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I need to be able to have that conversation to get to a rational place where I'm like, okay, you're being, let her be annoying for a second. It's whatever, she's stressed out.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal, whatever it is. Like you need to be able to process that. And if you knew you couldn't lie, I think that you would have a better filtration and evaluation system.
Yes.
And you would hold yourself to a higher standard of living as well.
Yeah. This would benefit everyone, I think.
100%.
I don't want anyone hearing my inner monologue, I'll tell you that.
Oh, God, no.
Unless you want to feel real fucking depressed.
Yeah, because you're going to hear some shit about me, too, that you probably don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch some strays as well as you. No one's coming out clean.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree. Never tell a lie. Okay. Would you rather only be able to whisper or only be able to shout for the rest of your life?
Oh my gosh.
Just one or the other.
I'd rather whisper. In fact, I had to whisper last night and it was fine because then Seth was whispering back to me and it worked out. I already tested it. It was fine. People don't hear me as it is. So I'm used to it.
Yeah, being soft, I don't know. I mean, both are annoying
for sure
in their own right,
Absolutely.
But being yelled at, and I've been told many times, like when I tell stories and I get excited, I've often been told to keep it down. So I know that that is annoying too, But I will say I would rather whisper because I could really cash it in on those ASMR videos.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
When people are like, and now we're going to just, and they do those little TikToks,
yeah,
cash it in, baby. Yes. So that's what I would choose.
Okay. We're in agreement on a lot of these.
Yep. Same wavelengths.
So next we have, would you rather never be able to use a fork again? You only use your hands. Or never be able to drink anything without a straw. The straw thing feels more low stakes than never being able to use a fork again, if I'm being honest.
I mean, yes, seemingly, sure. Okay. But I hate drinking without a straw.
Why?
I don't know why. I just my receptacle right here, it's got a straw. And I will parch myself if my only option is to drink with a cup without one. I'll be like, I once left, it was like a faux Stanley at a restaurant. And I went the next morning and bought a new one instead of just drinking out of a regular glass at home through the weekend. Even though a coworker was like, I grabbed it for you. It'll be in the office on Monday. I'm like, I can't go a whole weekend without a straw. Otherwise, I just will not drink water. I don't know what it is. So
why don't you have straws in your house?
yeah, I do now. I do
Oh,
now.
okay.
I do now. Right. I'm a frugal person. I don't think to just buy things when I need them. I have to be absolutely forced in those situations. So yeah, sure. Would it be a very unpleasant life to always eat with my hands? Yes. Would I dehydrate myself if I didn't have a straw? Also, yes. So whatever the option is where I can keep drinking out of a straw is what I choose.
So you'd rather never be able to use a fork again?
Never be able to use a fork again. That's correct.
Well, and that could work if you were eating like Ethiopian food. They eat with their hands already.
Or tacos. Don't need a fork for a taco, baby.
Yeah, you just use tortillas.
Hamburgers, sandwiches, chicken tenders.
What's the kind of like bread?
Pitas.
Bread.
Gyros.
Stop it. There's a kind of bread they use in Ethiopian food.
Naan.
Injera. It's called injera. It's a sour fermented pancake-like flatbread with a slightly spongy texture. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
So that would be doable.
I could work around it.
Now, eating spaghetti?
Spaghetti taco.
I would rather never be able to drink anything without a straw.
See, this is where we divide.
As much as I love straws, I'm a straw girly, but I can also do without a straw.
Okay, would you rather your voice randomly switch to a terrible attempt at a Scouse accent for one full day every week, or to a baby voice for 1 hour every single day? And to be clear, a Scouse accent is like what?
It's
Liverpool.
It's a Liverpool accent. Yeah.
Do you want to demonstrate for us now, Robin?
Nope. Sure don't.
Should I?
Go for it.
What do they do? What do they swap? Something. The TH is an F, right?
It's sing-songy quality, nasal tones, and unique consonant pronunciations. Key features include replacing the TH sound with a D.
Winds from the west, mist flowing in.
Pronouncing NG with a hard G, like in ring. And distinct vowel melody with high flat tones and stress, with making it very different from other UK accents. You'd have to listen to it, I think, to try to imitate.
Yeah. So like the chimney sweep in Mary Poppins, right? Something.
Ooh, we're Americans.
Sorry to all three of our British listeners.
So what's funny about this, it's not like we're not trying to be offensive towards Scouse accents.
No, sorry.
Specifically, it's a terrible attempt at a Scouse accent.
Yeah.
For one full day, every week.
Every week.
But then, or talk like
a little baby.
A baby voice. I'm just a little baby.
I'm just a little baby.
For 1 hour every single day. And like, it doesn't say which hour. Is it during the workday?
I know. If you could here's the thing. If you could choose the hour every single day, I would choose the baby and make bank, because you know there's weirdo creeps out there that would pay.
You would change your whole career.
My whole career, I would be set. Would work 1 hour a day. I would choose that baby voice.
You would part-time be making your ASMR videos with your whispering. And then part-time creating your OnlyFans account with the baby voice.
100%. And that's all I'm going to say. And you already know. You already know. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
I have to agree with you.
A lot of weirdo creeps out there. They come in all shapes and sizes.
I'd make it fun. I'd just make it fun. Like, this is me for an hour.
You know, I once was a sexy baby for Halloween. Okay?
It's true.
And I still got hit on a lot. And I would have to point out that I was, in fact, a baby. Still didn't deter anyone. So cash in on those baby bucks.
Perverts. All right, there we have it. Baby voice.
All right, let's kick it into top gear. with big life trade-offs and deep dilemmas. Okay, these are the soul-searching ones about success, relationship, money, identity. Okay, this is everything on the line. All right, let's see if there's some controversial takes in here. Okay, would you rather lose the ability to ever take a good photo of yourself again, like every picture is unflattering forever, or lose the ability to remember your happiest memories like they fade completely?
As much as I hate to look terrible in every single picture ever in my whole life, like even your wedding, I would hate to lose my happiest memories because I already have, like, I have a lot of terrible memories that have traumatized me. Like, I cherish the happy memories that I'm able to hang on to. Like, that would suck to lose that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather just look like shit in my photos, whatever.
I know. And before I make a decision, I think there's probably a lot of people who hear this and are like, that's a very obvious choice. Like one is obviously vain and the other is much more personal and, meaningful. But I want people to consider, and I know to people listening, like on its face, this is so obvious, right? Like one is very clearly vain about vanity and the other is more deep and meaningful. But I want people to consider how never liking the way that you look could deeply impact your psyche. My mom, for example, I don't think has ever liked a picture that she's ever taken of herself.
Same.
And I know that impacts her daily life. Now, my mom is beautiful, but when we look through pictures, whenever she sees herself, she's always like, ugh, I hate that. Ugh, oh God, get rid of that. Like she can't look at herself and she can't see herself the way that I see her. And I know that that impacts other ways about how she treats herself, about how she sees herself in this world. And so I don't want to just very quickly be like, oh, that wouldn't even make an impact to me because it would have larger implications on your life.
Sure. And I'm not saying it wouldn't. Because I've seen the same, my mom's the exact same way. She hates every picture she's ever been in. Like, there's nothing I can do to make her happy with the way she looks. And it does, I do hate seeing that. It makes me really sad for her that she can't feel good about herself.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, I need my happy memories.
I know. What's harder, though, is like when you get older, it's kind of like a natural progression, It's like it's harder and harder to tap into.
But what if you look great in the photo, but you can't remember why that photo was taken? Because it was a happy memory. It'd be like you have Alzheimer's.
I know. I mean, when you put it like that, it really puts it into perspective,
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I would lose the ability to look good in a photo ever again. And quite frankly, most of them I don't like anyway.
I'll just be like, don't take a photo of me. Get me out of this.
Yeah, right. I could just be like, you know what? I'm gonna sit this one out.
I'll be in the back putting bunny ears on someone.
Yes.
I'll just be that person like, yeah, you can take a picture of me, but the back of my head.
Yeah, right.
I'll just turn around. Look at that ass. Okay.
Right. But even that looks flabby.
Oh,
right? Like, damn it,
no! Okay. Would you rather have perfect career success, but no deep friendships, or deep, meaningful friendships, but constant financial stress?
I mean, this is kind of like the movie The Family Man. Did you ever see that movie with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah. This is also our 20s.
This is our 20s in a nutshell, 100%.
And boy, financial stress is terrible.
It really is. And I was thinking about this year, and I think I aged more this year than any other year of my life.
Oh, wow.
This year took such a toll on me physically.
Yeah.
It's indescribable. But my deep, meaningful friendships are truly like what carried me through this time. And I mean, this is like a really, really hard thing to choose from.
It is. These are the really tough ones.
Now it's hard. Now it's hard. But at this point in my life, I would say I just like, I'm so irritated with capitalism and just like this need to just like grow profitability and like margins, and like success to me has just taken on such a different meaning now that I am on the other side, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm very grateful for the stability that I have regained and the career trajectory that is in front of me, but it's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. Do you know what I mean? Like I got to the summit and it's not as sweet. I miss my scrappy trips to Aldi because it meant more time with my boys. Like Max never called me a workaholic this summer, you know?
Yeah.
They were never jumping up and down when I told them I didn't have any meetings that day, you know? So as ironic as it is, I'm choosing meaningful friendships, but enduring the constant financial stress.
Yeah, it's tough because my relationships mean so much to me. I honestly, I think the constant financial stress would inspire me to make changes for the better. Because financial stress doesn't mean like you're homeless. Doesn't mean you're not getting by.
Right.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have perfect career success right now. So, yeah. The other one isn't appealing to me.
Right.
It's not. That's just me, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, on this financial train, would you rather have financial freedom but live far from all your close friends, or stay geographically close to your people but always feel financially stretched?
I'm going to go on the opposite side of the spectrum here, and I'm going to choose financial freedom but live far from all my close friends, because if I have financial freedom, I can go visit whenever I want. I can have them come visit whenever they want.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know? Give me that financial freedom, please. This is a better alternative to the discussion we just had.
Yeah, that, and you could, like, our reunions could be way better, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we already kind of do that.
Right.
You're alone in Ohio. You're away from all of us.
I know.
You're like a 5-hour drive from Lauren. And then like no one else is close to Lauren either. We make it work.
I know. Okay, this is going to take us down a really dark and morbid path.
Okay.
But I was really thinking today, like, if I were to pass away, like, this year, first, I'll declare this. I'm like, would I want to be buried in Ohio? Probably not. But then it's like, where would I be buried? My hometown? And then it would be like, who would even be able to go to that funeral? You know, like my parents, sure. My immediate family, sure.
We would all come.
It would be so far away from Texas.
So?
And then it would be like, would I want to be buried in Texas? Everybody's so scattered.
I don't want to be buried anywhere.
I know, but this is morbid. But I say all this to say, I am far away from all my closest friends. And the thing that makes that difficult is if something catastrophic were to happen to me right now, to not have that community be, other than like my parents and Lauren, like a quick drive away is very, very, very daunting and scary. You know what I mean? To not have that immediacy of your community right there is a super, super lonely feeling. And so I don't like that. Like, I feel very much on a limb right now, and I'm kind of like really looking forward to either enriching the community I have here or like getting out of here, one or the other, because it's recently kind of been brought to my attention like, oh, if you really, really needed people to like care for you, they wouldn't be here to do that. You know what I mean? So I would much rather not have the freedom, but be geographically close to people that I need at this point in my life.
Okay.
So that's what I would choose.
It's a good answer.
Yeah. There you go. I just can't die or get sick.
Please don't. No time soon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have, would you rather be incredibly successful in your career, but have people assume it's because of luck, looks, or connections, or be deeply respected for your talent, but never quite make it big. I feel like women live under this umbrella as it is. Like, she just got lucky. So might as well keep going. That's my pick.
Yep. I hear this about successful women in my field all the time, and I know exactly how hard they work, and those same women make bank anyway. So you know what? Bring on your judgment. Bring on your stares. Go ahead and keep talking behind my back while I cash this fat check anyway.
I do not need to be deeply respected by any of you.
Yeah, I don't care for the respect of people that I don't respect in return.
Precisely.
So bring on your judgment while I go ahead and buy a new car.
But some people really, really do care about being respected. It's just not me.
I totally understand that, and that is completely valid. Trust me.
Sure.
Especially when you work really hard for something, for people. I mean, you hear, think about Taylor Swift's career, right? I mean, people are always they've found every way to try to make an excuse for her success or belittle her success or try to take her down a notch to the point where, like, we have straight up ran out of excuses. I've heard people call her an industry plant. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. Like, I don't know what more she has to do to just prove to people that, like, she really is that good.
I think she's done trying to prove that.
And she is finally done trying to prove that. So you cannot win people over sometimes. So you might as well just like reap the benefits of the success, and you don't have to prove to people what you did to earn it. So
exactly. Nailed it. Easy choice.
Easy. Would you rather be genuinely liked by everyone you meet, but never deeply loved by anyone, or deeply loved by a tiny circle, but misunderstood or disliked by most people?
I often feel misunderstood as it is. So
same. I was going to say, I live in the second scenario most of the time.
Yeah. I prefer tiny circle. I'm more of a like small group, one-on-one kind of person anyway. So I don't feel the need to be liked by everyone in the room. At this point in my life, when I was younger, it was a lot harder to take that.
Yeah.
Because you feel like something's wrong with you. But I don't feel that way anymore. So it's easier for me to choose the other one.
Yeah. I feel like when I join new spaces, or like when I moved to Ohio, I definitely was like in that first group where I really wanted to be liked by everyone. So I made myself kind of an amalgamation of a lot of people here. And therefore, I was liked by a lot of people, but really loved by no one. Like, as kind of evidenced by the fact that there's just sort of scraps of me all over this town, but not really momentum building connections from the places that I've left, right? And now I'm much more comfortable with the fact that I would rather just build deeper relationships with a few people. And, you know, I think you and I being in this position where we have really put ourselves out here creatively, you know, can make people uncomfortable. You know, the path to success is climbing cringe mountain. And I know that that makes us unlikable, right? Like, I've had to kind of accept that people who are on the fence, that this has pushed them over to the unlikable opinion.
Yeah.
And that's okay by me now, because we're doing what we set out to do. So tiny circle.
Yeah. All right. This is our last one.
Okay.
And it's a doozy. Would you rather look 35 forever or have complete immunity to illness? So vanity over health.
I mean, for me personally, if I really wanted to look 35 forever, I would have already started to get Botox and fillers.
But you wouldn't have to do the work. That's what's so great about it. Just naturally happens. But what good does that do you if you get cancer at the age of 40?
I know. Okay, so if I chose to look 35 forever, I could still get sick and die.
Yeah.
Right. You look good in that casket, though.
Sure would. And I mean, what if you lived to 90 and you looked 35? That's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Think of how famous you would be
You would be so famous.
in your old age. Like, you'd have a whole new career trajectory again.
You would have so many like extra style stories on you.
Yes.
She's 95, but she looks 30. What's her secret? You know, those like quick cut videos.
Yeah.
I mean, you could bank on that forever. That could earn you financial success, generational success you could pass on.
But your body is still aging on the inside, right?
Well, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
am I able to like move around like a 35-year-old?
I mean, maybe looking 35 would give you the confidence to like keep up appearances in other ways.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
You would maybe still take Pilates. You'd still maybe work out and lift.
Yeah. And there's certain things that you have as a 35-year-old that you don't the older you get, like your joints and tendons and cartilage and stuff like that. Like, I feel like as a 35-year-old, that might be maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Because how else do you look 35 without having like collagen in your cheeks and stuff like that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a little better.
Yeah. But I mean, you have had serious health issues.
I was going to say, I've been in 5 years of complete hell, and I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on my health. And I'm constantly worried about like what's going to happen next. And yeah, I would much rather have peace of mind knowing that I'm never going to get sick again. I'm never going to like have cancer or anything like that. Think about how much enjoyable your life could be, like just not having to think about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's my pick, honestly. I'll age gracefully. That's fine.
I'm going to go 35 forever.
That's awesome. I love that for you.
It's hard out here in them streets, okay? As a 42-year-old woman on these apps, it's slim pickings out here, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could look roughly 10 years younger, I could probably do a lot better. That's all I'm saying. Good to go.
Okay. There we have it. Deborah's going to be a beautiful 35-year-old. I'm going to be a healthy, wrinkly 70-year-old.
My 10-year plan is to just get hot enough to be on the cast of The Golden Bachelor. Okay. That's my 10-year plan. I think I could do it. I think if I really put in the work, I could just get on that show enough to get a brand deal on Instagram. That's really the goal.
You don't need to get on that show to get a brand deal.
I'm too old for the regular Bachelor, but I'm young enough to prepare myself for the Golden Bachelor. Get married for 3 months.
Wait, but this is you looking 35?
Yeah. If I looked 35 but was old enough to be on the Golden Bachelor, set. America's sweetheart right here.
I just feel like you could get famous another way that is way less deprecating.
Okay, we'll see. People love that show. Old people love that show.
The second season
I didn't watch it.
got so much shit. I didn't watch it either. Apparently the guy who played the Golden Bachelor sucked. He was boring and stupid, and yeah. I don't like that for you, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry. Find me another way.
Yes, we'll get you famous another way. It's fine. Remember, you'll have your ASMR stuff. You'll have your baby
That's right.
voice. And
That's
then you're
right.
going to have your sexy ass 35-year-old body. You will be fine.
Okay, you're right. I'm going to be fine. Well, did any of those track with you guys? I know Robin and I were on the same page for a lot of these scenarios, but we would love to know, what would you rather pick? Would you rather look 35 forever? Would you rather have your hair smell like deep fried onions? Tell us your picks. Email us at artofclassiness@gmail.com, and we'd love to know.
Okay, it is time for our class act of the week. This is where we give a little shout out to a moment, whether it is through something we've seen in person, social media, on TV, doesn't matter. We're just looking for people who show genuine kindness or someone who handles tough situations with true integrity. And this week, it is Deborah's turn. What you got?
Okay. Well, I jokingly told Robin that one person/animal that would not be getting my class act of the week was my current dog, Chaco, because he has been a very naughty boy today. But that made me think that I wanted to recognize my first soul dog, Chancellor Stevenson.
Chancellor Stevenson.
While there's still time, because he is coming up towards probably the end of his time. We're starting to have conversations about what the end of his life will look like. And I don't want to wait until that time passes to make sure that the world knows of the best good boy in the whole world. So I got Chancellor Stevenson in 2011 when I was selling a car to an old Fidodo, Jen, and her boyfriend had a dog litter unexpectedly at his house from a rescue. And there were 2 dogs left in the litter. And one of them was a little pit bull mix, brown spotted dog. And he just put his little paws on me and just looked at me with this face that said, Priest, pick me. Priest, take me home. And I said, oh my gosh, like you still have one left? And he was like, oh yeah, like, was looking for a good home. And I immediately called my husband at the time and I was like, we have to take this dog. He's just the best dog in the whole world. And so the joke is that, I sold a car and bought a dog that day. And since then, he was just really known with our group of friends as really the best boy in the whole world. We taught him so many tricks, all the classics like sit or speak, lay down, we'd go bang, bang, and he would roll on his back. He was just so good. Such a good guard dog. When I had Max, I labored at home for a long time and he sat by my side the whole time. And when we brought Max home from the hospital and, Max would be in his witching hour and just crying in the middle of the night, Chancellor would just whine at the door, just wanting to come in to try to see, what was wrong. And just was my little protector for the deployment that John had when I was home alone with Max and pregnant with George. And really the only time I broke down during that whole deployment was when I felt like I wasn't caring enough for Chancellor, because it was really hard to make sure he got his walks in and make sure that I was giving him enough attention. And when John and I separated, Chancellor went to John, which was the right decision because the property that Chancellor now lives on is much bigger, 40 acres, other dogs, truly the best living situation for him. So I don't get to see him as much anymore, but every time I go over there, even though he can barely see anymore and his joints hurt, he always finds me and just comes to my leg and won't leave me alone, follows me back to my car. And when I got Chaco, it was really hard to find that connection with him because my heart was still with Chancellor. And, as we're starting to make these decisions, he's not eating as much anymore. He's getting really skinny. He's 15 years old. I just want the world to know that he was the best boy in the whole world. And he is the best boy. And he brought people so much joy and so much love. He's such a good dog. There's other dogs that live in this house. He opens the sliding glass door for them to come in and out. And he will close it as well.
What? How?
He's just a little leader. He just like pulls it open. He's so good. He's just like the best good boy in the whole world. And so he is always going to be the classiest dog in the whole world. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that he's the best boy.
And he shows genuine kindness every day.
Every day.
Classy good boy.
Classy good boy. I know.
Let's move on to our class or crass segment. This is where we give a fake scenario and discuss whether or not it's classy or crass. Are you ready, Deborah?
I'm ready.
You're gifted something ugly that you'll never use. Is it classy to keep it displayed when that friend visits? Or crass to quietly donate it? This is a good one because we just finished up with Christmas. And I will say, for the longest time, I would keep every single thing anyone ever gave me because it meant so much to me that they got me a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going through a purging stage of I never use this. It's not my style anymore, or whatever the reason may be. And then someone pointed out to me, it's not about the gift itself, it's the thought behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it a lot easier for me to let go of stuff.
Oh.
Like, I don't need to keep this to remember that someone did something thoughtful for me.
Yeah.
Some things have actual sentimental value, other things don't, you know?
Right.
So I don't feel like you need to be fake about it. It does depend on who gifted it to you. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's crass to donate it either.
Yes, and I like that sentiment. Not every gift that's given to you is super meaningful either. You know what I mean? Sometimes people just panic buy and they give you something and you are like, oh, that I didn't know. Thank you. And they're like, oh my God, I have no idea what to get you. Like, here's some random ass thing. And you are like displaying it and that other person might be like, oh my God, they still have that thing. So like sometimes there's just like a false narrative going silently on between the two of you that is like not even a real story. So I very much am of the belief that once you give something a gift, you release yourself of any ownership and responsibility of what that person does with it. So if you are given something that isn't your aesthetic, isn't something that you want, isn't something that you need, then I don't think it is crass to donate it. I don't think you have the moral responsibility to display it just to keep up appearances. I think it's crass for someone to expect you to parade it around just because they gave it to you.
It makes me think of Marshall's mom from How I Met Your Mother. Like, anytime they came to visit, Lily would have to make sure every single thing that Marshall's mom had ever given them was on display, and she would notice the one thing that was missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, it's just too oppressive and it's very like ego-centered for the gift giver, you know?
Yeah.
So
they're just looking for another reason to be upset with you or have an issue with you.
Yeah.
Here's how it would be crass. If you took that gift and then re-gifted it to someone else that they know. Like, maybe you could re-gift it to a family member in another state or something, that might work. But like, to re-gift it
in the circle, yeah, you can't re-gift in the circle.
Precisely. So don't re-gift it, but I don't think it's crass to donate it. Declared.
Well, those dilemmas had us screaming, cringing, and questioning everything. From sneezing glitter to crying ranch dressing. Inner monologues exposed, and those brutal life trade-offs. Adult nightmares are real.
But that's why we're here, to laugh through the chaos, overshare our fears, and ask the big question. Which impossible choice is classy, and which is straight up crass?
We want to hear your verdicts. Which nightmare would you pick? Team look 35 forever, or never get sick? What shocked you most?
Drop your thoughts at artofclassiness@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram and TikTok at Art of Classiness.
Thanks for listening. And remember, classy is a state of mind.
So mind your classiness.
Bye.